Newcastle United are in the market for a centre-back and the name Giorgio Scalvini keeps popping up. But why would Eddie Howe and the Magpies target a 21-year-old from Serie A? In this video, we'll break down Scalvini's unique profile, his tactical fit in Newcastle's system, and why he might just be the next big piece in the Toonami's long-term project. Scalvini isn't just another highly rated Italian defender, he's a prototype of the modern centre-back. At just 21 years of age, he's already played over 70 matches in Serie A for Atalanta, a side known for its intense tactical structure under their manager. To be able to thrive in a Gasperini system, you need elite football IQ, positional discipline, and confidence in high-pressure situations. Scalvini has shown all three. But what makes Scalvini really stand out is his rare mix of elegance and versatility. Standing at 6'4", you'd expect him to dominate primarily with his physique. And yes, he does compete well in the air, winning over 60% of his aerial duels, but it's how he uses the ball at his feet that makes him so valuable. Scalvini is incredibly composed in possession, whether he's playing as a central defender in a back three, a left centre-back in a four, or even stepping into midfield as a holding pivot, a role Gasperini has tested him in. He always looks calm and in control. He averages over 50 passes per 90 minutes, often choosing vertical options that break through the midfield lines. His passing range is mature beyond his years, short, sharp passes under pressure or long diagonal switches to the wing. He can do both. And then of course, there's his ball carrying ability. Scalvini loves stepping out from the back, gliding into midfield areas to create overloads or simply draw defenders out of shape. Think of someone like a John Stones at Manchester City, defenders who can initiate attacks, not just stop them. Scalvini fits that mold. Now, defensively, he's not a raw tackler or a last-ditch type hero. He's a reader of the game. His positioning and anticipation stand out more than brute force. He averages around 1.3 interceptions per 90 minutes and often wins the ball early before attackers can turn. In one-on-one duels, he doesn't just dive in. He delays, waits, and picks his moment. It's a measured, intelligent style that suits teams who want to control games rather than just survive them. Now, of course, there's room to develop physically, especially for the Premier League, but he's already showing improvement. His frame is naturally imposing, and he's learning how to use it better with each season. And for a tall defender, his footwork is sharp, which helps him cover ground and deal with pacey forwards. In many ways, Scalvini is a blend of old-school Italian defending principles, calmness, positioning, tactical intelligence, with the technical and athletic demands of the modern game. And for a team like Newcastle, looking to evolve from a reactive side into one that dominates possession and territory, a player like Scalvini could be the perfect building block. So how exactly does Scalvini fit into this Newcastle side? Well, Eddie Howe's system demands a lot from his centre-backs, not just defensively, but in terms of composure, build-up play, and tactical flexibility. Newcastle want to be more than just hard to beat. They want to dominate games both in and out of possession, especially if they're to compete consistently in Europe. Scalvini feels like a perfect stylistic match. With Fabian Schär being 33 and Dan Burn being more of a defensive fullback than a progressive defender, there's space opening up for a young centre-back who brings ball progression and technical class. Scalvini could be that player. He's naturally left-sided, which makes him a potential long-term partner or even a successor to Sven Botman, but even more interesting is his flexibility. If Howe ever wants to experiment with a back three, something that comes up in European fixtures or injury-hit periods, Scalvini's Atalanta background gives him plug-and-play value. He's already used to man-to-man marking in advanced areas, covering wide spaces and stepping up into midfield zones. And of course, speaking of midfield, Scalvini has played there too. Gasperini has used him as a pivot in high-stake games. That's a huge indicator of his tactical intelligence and technical trustworthiness. At Newcastle, he may not need to play there, but just having that option adds depth to the squad and opens up new tactical wrinkles. Of course, there's going to be risks. He's still physically developing, and adjusting to the intensity of the Premier League will of course take time. Atalanta also protect their defenders with a structured, aggressive press, whereas the Premier League exposes centre-backs to much more transitional chaos. But this is where Newcastle have to think big. Scalvini isn't just a signing for next season, he's a long-term project with sky-high potential. He's already on the radar of top clubs across Europe, and if Newcastle wait too long, he could be out of reach. And then finally, we look at financial deal. The price tag will likely be steep, between 30 to potentially £50 million range, but that's the going rate for elite centre-back prospects in today's market. When you factor in his age, top-flight experience, versatility and ceiling, Scalvini represents value, especially compared to some of the older or less tactically refined alternatives being linked. In short, for Newcastle, this would be some statement signing. A player who doesn't just fill a gap, but reshapes the future of Newcastle's back line. If the Magpies want to compete with the elite, they need elite potential, and Scalvini has that in abundance. So the question is, Newcastle fans, should you guys be pushing for Giorgio Scalvini? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed the analysis, make sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel. More scouting breakdowns are coming soon, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.